doing a little bit of dyeing with the spray dyes, that's tumble dye sprays that I showed in a previous video. This is just a couple of small pieces of muslin that I cut and a piece of Blanc DMC embroidery floss. And I'm I had sprayed it with a little bit of water before I decided that I would turn on my camera and do a video about it. I'm going to use these pieces to create two or three little fish to put on the background of my mermaid piece that I'm doing for a doll show. I'm showing you that I'm adding a little water. I had previously sprayed some turquoise tumble dye spray, and then I sprayed that more water like you saw. Now a little bit more turquoise, and using a little bit of green tumble dye too. And I'm using my high-tech tool there, my yellow plastic ball little pin, and just squishing, technical term there, my embroidery floss around, trying to pick up dye from the puddles. And I want this to look kind of oceany and watery because those three little fish will be swimming in the ocean with the mermaid. My piece is going to be titled The Change, and she's the queen of dancing water. So, and she's mixed media. I'm going to be attaching her to a canvas. So these little fish I am envisioning also attached to the canvas. And when I get it done, I will do a short video and show the piece. But for now, I'm just showing some of my process to create some of the texture to go along with the mermaid. So I'm using my little dandy pin and moving it all around and soaking up all that extra goodness. And let's see. We've got a little more color, spraying it with a little yellow, and moving it around. Doesn't get much easier than this. I find those tumble dye sprays to be incredibly easy to use, and they really do make bright, can't talk, vibrant colors that I really like in my piece. And I wanted a piece of tie-dyed floss primarily for the fish, and I was looking at a site that showed over dyes and tie-dyed floss, but I don't really have a plan that I'm going to need a whole ton of it. And since I use the base of a white DMC, I thought, well, I've got white DMC and I have some spray dyes, so I'm going to try that and see what happens. And I kind of like the outcome. So I'm unwrapping it a little bit so I can see what the inside of it is looking like. And you can see when I dried it off on the fabric, it made kind of pretty textures on the fabric too, and I really like that. I am adding a little more turquoise because I do want it to be oceany, and I think turquoise is a beautiful tropical kind of watercolor that when I think of mermaids, I think of turquoise. So here we go with soaking up more color. I really like the way the muslin is looking. I like the modeling and the splatter. It all looks really pretty. And I like the different patterns and textures too. And it's kind of nice. You don't have control, but it's fun to do it yourself and kind of see what you're getting. And if I didn't like it for this piece, I could always try it again and see what I get. So now I'm gonna clean it up and dry it off, and I will be back Okay, well, welcome back. This is what my thread and that fabric looks like. I figured I'm going to use this muslin that I dyed to make a couple of small fish to put in the background of my doll. I guess it's a mixed media thing that I'm doing now for the show. I will show that when it gets closer to being finished. Right now it's not that great. But I think this came out pretty good. Let me hold this up. Why is it that when you do things like this, you always forget to get a piece of white, oops, well, my stuff is crashing down, a piece of white paper out to show the colors against. Anyway, let me see if I can get this to focus. I have a light down here, and let's see, too close, too close. Maybe if I put my finger in there, it'll focus a little better. No? The light kind of washes it out. If I take the light out of it. Maybe. So anyway, this is turquoise and green and yellow. And I think it came out really kind of pretty. I dried it with my heat gun, and then I took a paper towel and kind of wiped down the whole length of the string to take off the excess over dye. And yeah, it came out pretty nice. So I hope you enjoyed this. This was just a piece of DMC white floss that I sprayed and dried. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you might try something like this. These tumble dry spray dyes I bought in a kit from AC Moore. That's in a previous video. And I really like these. They work, they're very easy, and they clean up well, and they're lots of fun. So until next time, have a very wonderful, colorful day, and thank you for joining me.